Hi folks, Mrs. Findlay here. So we're going to have a look in our lesson today at some fractions. So we're just going to recap what you've been doing in class on fractions first of all, just to make sure we all know what we're doing. So first of all, we're going to be writing down the fraction that's shaded in each shape. And we're not going to do all of these because I'm going to save some of them for you to have a go at yourselves. But basically, remember a fraction has a top and a bottom. There's something on the top and something on the bottom. And the top is called the numerator. And the bottom is called the denominator. Oops. Can't talk and write at the same time. Okay, and remember, when we look at it like this, a fraction as something over something, that just looks like a divide sign, doesn't it? Because that's what fractions are about. They're about dividing and sharing. Okay? So the number that is in the denominator on a fraction tells you how many equal parts you've split into or you've shared between. And the number on the top tells you how many of those you've picked. Okay? So that's the total number of pieces it's been split into. That's how many pieces you've picked. Okay, so we're just going to work our way through a few of these. Okay, so in the first one, if we have a look, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 equal pieces there. So that means that the number on the bottom of the fraction in the denominator is going to be 4. And we've got one of them shaded, so it's a 1 on the top. And remember, 1 over 4, we say it as a quarter. Okay. Next, we've got our shape. This one here, our circle, is split into 2 equal parts. So that means that the number on the bottom of the fraction is 2. And then if we look, we've got one of these equal parts shaded. So it's a 1 on the top. And when you see a fraction that is 1 over 2, it's called a half. Okay. The next one, next circle, is split into 3 equal pieces. So we're going to have a 3 on the bottom in the denominator of the fraction. And then we can see we've got one of these pieces shaded, so a 1 on the top. And 1 over 3 is called a third. Okay. If we move on to number 4 now, here, our circle again has been split into 3 equal pieces. So we're going to have a 3 on the bottom. And if we count the shaded pieces, there's 1 there and 1 there. So we've got 2 shaded pieces. So that's called 2/3. Okay. I'm going to skip. No, I'm not. We'll do number 5, 6 and 7. Okay. And then I'm going to leave you to do some yourself with those ones. So number 5, we can see we've split into 4 equal pieces again. So we're dealing with quarters. And we've got 1, 2, 3 of them shaded. So the shaded fraction in that circle is 3/4. Now, look at number 6. How many pieces has that circle been split into? Well, it's been split into 1, hasn't it? So there's only 1 piece there. So we've got none of it shaded though. So we've got none out of 1 is shaded. Okay? So none out of 1 piece being shaded would look exactly the same as none out of 2 bits shaded, or none out of 3 or 7 or 15 bits shaded. Okay? If we've got no bits shaded, we've got none, so that is just 0. We don't need what it's over, it's just 0. Okay? Look at the one underneath that, also split into 1 bit, number 10, and we've got 1 out of 1 bit shaded. Okay, now that is the whole bit, isn't it? So we call this the whole, or it is just 1. It's the whole 1, isn't it? Okay, and number 7 is the last one we're going to look at on here just now. And so we're looking here, we're going to see what we've split into. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equal pieces. So we've got a 5 on the bottom of our fraction in the denominator. And then in the numerator on the top, we write how many we've shaded. So we've got 1, 2 pieces are shaded, and that's called 2/5. Okay, when you've got a 5 on the bottom of the fraction, they're called fifths. Okay, so we're going to leave the shading fractions just now and identifying fractions, because I'm going to put these in a separate piece of work for you to continue yourselves. So we're going to move on, and we're going to look at finding a fraction of an amount. So we're just going to do these few questions. Okay, so think about the pictures that we've been looking at. So the first one is a half. So remember what a half looked like. It's a circle that's split into 2 equal pieces, and we've chosen one of them. Okay, so if we split 48 into 2 equal pieces, how many are in each piece? So if this whole circle represents 48, we're going to need to do 48 divided by 2, aren't we? So 2 into 4 goes 2 times. 2 into 8 goes 4 times. So that gives us, if we split 48 into 2 equal pieces, each piece has a size 24. So that must mean that a half of 48 is equal to 24. Okay? Now, let's think about the next one, a quarter of 20. So remember what a quarter looks like. It's split into 4 equal pieces, and we've chosen one of them. So if we split 20 into 4 equal pieces, what that means is we're doing 20 divided by 4. Okay, so we're not going to be able to do that very helpfully in a bus stop sum, because we can just work out how many 4s are in 20. So if you go to your 4 times table, you've got 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. So it's 5. Okay, so a quarter of 20 is equal to 5. Okay, a third of 36, well, if we split this into 3 equal pieces and choose one of them, then what we're doing is we're splitting 36 into 3 equal pieces. So let's do that. So 3 into 3 goes once, 3 into 6 goes twice. So that's 12. So we can say that 1/3 of 36 is equal to 12. Okay? And then the last one, a half again, so means we're splitting into 2 pieces and choosing one of them. So we need to divide 62 by 2. So 2 into 6 goes 3 times, 2 into 2 goes 1 time, so the answer is 31. So a half of 62 is equal to 31. Okay, so the thing that you've got to remember when we're doing this is that you divide by the denominator. Okay, so remember the denominator is the number on the bottom of the fraction. Okay, so that's the end of the lesson for today. So now what I'm going to do is put this on Dojo and give you some practice questions to do as well. Okay, so I'll see you soon.